fabulous fabric from the land of the Five Rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
The Raiders are a really interesting team. We don't love the ownership, but they have a new front office, a new coach from New England.
If Josh McDaniels don't turn the team around this year, it's to be fired.
Not a lot has gone right for the Raiders under this regime.
They're doing what they do best. They are trying to lose. They should probably find a new hobby because it is going to be a disaster.
We back. I know that's like the last thing y'all want to hear, but that's for Raider Nation, man. Not for these stinking old Raiders, man. That's they not winning on Sundays, man. Like they should be, like we want them to be, but you know, it is what it is, man. Raiders, terrible loss against the Bears, man. Terrible loss against the Bears. But we'll have plenty to talk about today, man. We appreciate everybody's patience. What's going on, Ray, man? How you doing?
I don't have any words. You just let me know when it's okay to go off on Josh McDaniels, and I'll be here for you.
I think there's a line, man. There's a line for Josh McDaniels, man. Everybody has something to say about Josh and what he's done so far as a coach for the Raiders, man. There's a lot to talk about. But you know, let's get into the chat, man, and see who's arrived, who's been waiting. We appreciate everybody coming through. Ja Raider says, I posted on my IG, Jim Harbaugh will return to NFL 2024. Insiders listed 4 teams: Raiders, Chargers, Bears, Saints. His brother John Harbaugh also said in the draft 2023, his brother is coming back to coach in 2024. That's interesting. But I've been a big Jim Harbaugh fan when he was a coach for the Niners, but that was like what, over 10 years ago. And that's when I wanted him to come to the Raiders. After he left the 49ers, the Raiders had a head coach vacancy. I'm like, man, Mark Davis, do not mess this up. Do what you got to do. I don't know. You got to contact this guy and get him to. But Michigan, they were smart. They got to him first, and then he ended up taking that Michigan job. If you guys remember during the season, but to me, it's like too little, too late, man. He's been in the college game. He's been coaching younger players. The NFL player is a different type of breed of player. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I understand he knows these players because he coached them and some of these players in college, but it's like you're going to come back to and the thing is, everybody's going to point to his record. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted him at the time when before Josh McDaniels even got hired too. But I just think it's just way too long. I think the Raiders, they're stuck in the past. They're trying to go with these coaches that had past success in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like, man, why do we have to do that? Why don't we just get a young, innovative coach, make sure he gets a great staff around him? Let's do it that way, man.
I want one of these young minds that's linked in with the people who are up to speed with the modern NFL. That's what we need. We don't need to keep going backwards.
It happened with John Gruden. We kind of seen that with him. You know, you kind of seen like the game kind of passed him by in some ways. And then with Josh McDaniels, and you could probably speak on it. Well, you could probably say this Patriots, they're kind of stuck in the past as well. Like, look at the type of quarterbacks they draft, or, you know what I mean? Like, are starting for them. Like, you know, they drafted Mac Jones. We drafted Aiden O'Connell. They're kind of stuck in that pocket passer, which there's nothing wrong with having a pocket passer, but at least that in today's NFL, you need that dual threat.
The system has to work. You have to have a solid run game. You have to have a solid defense. You have to be able to dominate time. Like, everything has to go right.
What kind of system is that? That's a terrible system.
It's not modern. It's not. Look, guys can go out down and score in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? That's the
system they run in with the Patriots. When you come to the Raiders, guess what? We're still trying to figure out how to win. We're still trying to get back. They're still trying to get back to greatness. So there's going to be some missteps here. There's going to be some mistakes, but we need a guy that can be able to still take it further than that. You know what I mean? Move past all the obstacles. But Josh McDaniels needs the best O-line. He needs the best running back. He needs the best receiver. He needs the best quarterback. He needs the best defense. And then that's when he can coach a good football team. Like, get out of here, man. Man, look, I'm already started right now. I'm ready. I want to get on Josh McDaniels, but I'm gonna wait, man. I see some people in the chat pulling up, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. We got. Let's see, my guy, Raider Scorpio in the building. He's an LV in the house. Okay, we got a Las Vegas resident. I was gonna say Oakland Raider, but Raider fan. You know, hey, at the end of the day, they were in Oakland first, though. Just remember that they were in Oakland first. But Adam Stevens says ready for more of Ray's hot takes and Pharaoh shots fired. Gonna be more.
Get ready, man. Go get your popcorn. Go get a drink. Go sit down, man. It's gonna be a long one.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna get it ready right now.
Get that shots fired warmed up.
I'm gonna get it ready, man. Nick 209 said, "What's up, Ray? Salute, man. We got people pulling up." Sean Schefter Johnson said, "Salute, Raider Ray and Pharaoh. Josh McDaniels must go now. Worst Raider head coach ever, making a huge case, man. That loss, that
say
that's
that.
one of, I don't know.
I'm about to go in on him, so just say that. I've got every stat you could think.
D Menace, one of our mods, man. Appreciate you coming through, always supporting, always holding it down in the chat. Lord Beagle in the building. He says, Pharaoh and Ray, evening from Connecticut, all the way connected.
Shout out to Connecticut.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? Gyrator say Mark Davis need to figure it out because Vegas mayor wants winning city. If we lose mayor, we'll get. Well, I mean, he's. They already paid for the stadium.
Yeah, they're stuck.
They're stuck.
They're stuck.
And they're bringing, and the mayor's is still going to be smiling because they're bringing so much business to Las Vegas. What?
Yeah, they got the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, they got the Super Bowl, man. Like, you know, Vegas is smiling no matter what.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that scares me a little bit. You know,
yeah,
that scares me. We got Brandon Marcus Ray. It says it makes sense if you don't think about it. What is he referring to?
I don't know. I don't know. Clarify.
Daniel Kim, salute, brothers. Hit the A, man. He ready. Hey, Daniel Kim knows how to start it, bro. He knows how to start it. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live, man. We appreciate everybody's support and patience because, you know, we had a lot of things happen before the show started, but we got through all the technical difficulties.
Technology, y'all.
Man, technology is not perfect, bro. It is not perfect. It is not perfect. We got Realist Raider. I'm glad you're here, Realist Raider, because we need that realist. You know, we need your opinion out here, man. We need you in the chat to hold it down. He says it all starts with attitude. Okay. That might be a shot at Josh McDaniels. I think it is what it is. Did you guys see the new video of the Raider fan letting? Yeah, I posted it on my on my channel. Yeah, man. Mark Davis was caught again with the Raider fan out in public, and he did have a big dude right next to him. So like, dude could have got knocked out. but yeah, man, he let Mark Davis know how he felt, man, and pretty much how Raider Nation felt. And this time, Mark Davis probably handled a little bit better. He was kind of like, you know what, I'll hear you. Let me try to be nice. And yeah, man, hey, all I know is that if this continues, we know how it's going to end at the end of the day. Nick 209 says sources say the team wants Josh McDaniels to stay. I seen a report before the game, but I'm like I said, man, if this is the type of football that happens throughout. Because 10 games left. A lot can happen in 10 games. That's all I'm saying. If a lot can happen in 10 games, but if we get the same, this is the type of football we get every Sunday, and then you want this guy to pick the next quarterback, pick the next draft class, sign a whole bunch of contracts when he's still paying Chandler Jones, he's still gonna pay Jimmy G. We'll get into it, man. You know what? Let's just get into it right now, man. Let's get into it, man. Raiders, Bears review, man. Raiders, Bears, debacle, whatever you want to go, massacre, whatever you want to call it. The Raiders stunk it up on Sunday. They didn't take care of what they needed to do. They could have went over 500 and, at least went into this Detroit game with Raider fans being a little bit, okay, this could be our big test. But now it's like, we're kind of going into this game, Detroit game, which is Monday Night Football, if y'all don't know, in front of the entire nation, and we're kind of going into it like, oh my God, like this is going to be another L, another blowout. We hope that they win, but
not only that, but they just got skunked 35-0.
Yeah,
by Baltimore.
But let's talk more about the game. Like, what did you think of the game? What did you? Because I went live during the game, so I know you seen me going crazy.
Yeah, I was in there.
What were your thoughts?
From the moment after that first drive, you were like, okay, and then Daniel Carlson misses a kick, and then I just kind of realized, like, at the end of the show that we had, the preview show, I was talking about, hey, this game's probably gonna be a lot closer than what people think. I didn't expect it to be a blowout. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect the Raiders to completely not show up. Nobody except if your name is Max Crosby, nobody showed up ready to play. Like the entire defense, it was garbage. The way that I don't understand how you go into a game against an undrafted free agent, a Division II quarterback making his first start, and don't realize that this is going to be get the ball out quick, screens, dump offs, heavy dose of the run game. And it looked like they were so completely unprepared. The discipline of the team, the tackling effort was garbage. Man, and overall in coverage, I mean, he didn't put up a ton of crazy yards or anything, but man, just there's no like identity, fight, passion. There's none of that from this team, and it genuinely feels like this team has taken on the persona of the head coach. And you don't see that fight. Like defensively, I'll say they've bought in for Patrick Graham. Okay, I'm not pointing out the defense. They had a bad game against Chicago. Prior weeks before that, they played bad teams, but they at least went out there and gave the Raiders a chance to win. We all know that story. The offense is so bad. And I don't understand, like Aiden O'Connell goes in with 5 minutes left and he puts up a touchdown. He throws a bad interception, but at least he drove down the field, played soft coverage, scored a touchdown. My opinion, he probably should have been in a lot earlier than that. But yeah, overall, man, there's not much to take away from this game. This game was garbage. It was trash. It was embarrassing. And honestly, I wasn't even mad. Like, I was just To be honest, like to hang Josh McDaniels, for him to hang himself, I would just let him keep doing what he's doing. Let him keep doing what he's doing, and he's not going to be here much longer.
Yeah, man. And going back to the game, man, like I was looking to just put into perspective who we lost against. We lost against a rookie, undrafted free agent QB, Tyson Bagent, who's the last time he started an NFL, well, not an NFL game, obviously he's a rookie, but the last time he started a game, a football game, was last year D2 semifinals against the Colorado School of Mines. I don't know.
So a bunch of nerds.
All I know, it's in Colorado. It's in a school in Colorado, and this is his final stat line. You would think, okay, man, he probably dominated or something, right? No, he went 19 for 34, 165 yards, and 2 interceptions. He was sacked 8 times, and they lost 44-13. That was the last time he played football. And he went out there and he didn't have like a Hall of Fame game. I'm not trying to say like he had a crazy game, but he did what he needed to do. He did better than Brian Hoyer, who the game plan. I don't even understand the game plan. They were trying to dink and dunk.
It's the same thing they've been doing all year. They ran the same concept they've run all year. We're week 7. None of it has worked. I don't know. Like, again, man, we keep putting a square peg into a round hole. Nothing's changing. He goes up to the podium every Sunday after the game. I've got to take a look in the mirror. Us as coaches, we've got to come up with a good game plan. I'm so tired of hearing it. Nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing. This offense is stuck in the past. It's completely predictable. The players come out and they blatantly say the defenses know what we're going to run. The defenses are calling out what the play is on the field. When that happens, man, look, since we're talking about it, man, I'm going to talk about Josh McDaniels' tenure as the Raiders right now as it stands.
Okay.
Josh McDaniels as a Raider has blown 5 double-digit leads. Jeff Saturday's only win in his NFL career came against Josh McDaniels, and mind you, that was on 3 days' notice, and he's a former high school coach.
He was an ESPN NFL analyst, and when he got hired, I remember this game. I remember the game that we were playing the Colts, and that week, there were tweets showing like that he was like talking about how bad the Raiders were, and now he's the coach of the Colts. And then he beats the Raiders, and that was his only win in 8 games.
Exactly. Mind you, that's his only win on 3 days of preparation. He beats the Raiders. Josh McDaniels, this brilliant mind, this genius of a football mind. Baker Mayfield, 24 hours notice, signs with the Rams. Primetime football, beats Josh McDaniels. Okay. The 1-5 Bears, starting Division II quarterback, you just alluded to, got sacked 8 times, threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Who knows what even county, country, state, wherever he's played in last. 1-5 Bears go out there and absolutely skunk the Raiders. 9 of the last 10 games, he's failed to score 20 points. Mind you, the only wins that Josh McDaniels has had as a Raider, above 500, he's only beat 2 teams above 500. One of them being the Chargers, which we split with the Chargers regardless of the situation. And one being Seattle, which it took him overtime to beat them. So he has 2 wins of his entire 24-game career with the Raiders of having a victory of a team over 500. Under 500, his only wins are 2 versus the Broncos in 2022. One of those took overtime. A 3-13 Houston team, an 8-9 Patriots team. In 2023, he beat the 2-5 Patriots, the 2-5 Broncos, and the 2-4 Packers. Mind you, he has a 9-15 record in 24 games. Everything that I just laid out for you happened in a series of 24 games. I mean, what else do you need? Like, let me put it this way. I own a business, right? If my company and I hire an employee and they're promoting my services and I have a customer, I have multiple customers at this point coming to me with picket signs saying fire X employee, and they're coming to me and saying your employee is terrible and you're affecting the brand. Look, at some point Mark Davis is This is going to affect Mark Davis. You have fans almost like Mark Davis needs to roll around with some more security, by the way. But almost and it can get hostile. But listen, my whole point about this is when you have customers coming to you telling you about how bad your employee is, I have no decision but to react,
Right.
because it's affecting me now. And this is spewed over. This is spewed over into the ownership. This is spewed over into altercations in public with the owner. And look, at some point, there has to be a change. When was the last time you've ever seen a fan base holding signs saying fire the coach, going to the owner saying fire him, and that said coach turn things around and get the buyback and support from the fan base? From here on out, every single loss is just going to build and build and build. It's going to be adding wood to a fire. You keep losing games, that locker room, that trust within this organization with the noise going on outside the building, that line gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And when that line breaks within that locker room, you're not going to get it back. So I don't know, man. Look, this is just a matter of time before something has to happen with this organization.
And the weird thing is right now we're talking about this team like they're 0-7, and they're actually 3-4. But the fact is, their 3 wins came against probably one of the worst teams in the NFL. The Packers lost to Denver this weekend. Denver is not a good team, and obviously the Patriots, they got to win against the Bills. I don't know how they did that, but divisional games, Bill Belichick pulled something out of his sleeve. But we know the Patriots is not a good team right now.
No,
and it's kind of like fool's gold, like you mentioned before. Like the game, like games that they're winning, like it's a mirage, like it's not real. So, and now we're gonna play against a team on Monday Night Football against the Detroit Lions, who are coming into the game 5-2.
Coach.
You said it again.
Which is hopefully our next head coach, Ben Johnson. I hope we get a preview. I hope Mark Davis is paying attention to the Lions sideline. And I hope that after the game, he goes up and talks to Ben Johnson, because, man, I hate to say this. I hope this coaching staff gets embarrassed. I really do. I hope they get embarrassed.
Man, I hope not. I hope the Raiders can figure out and get a win. To be honest with you, I hope they can. I hope that I'm wrong about Josh McDaniels. I hope that the Raiders can figure out a way and finish this season strong, and they figure it out. But the way it looks like right now, it doesn't look good. And let's go back to the game. Like if you mentioned, you said it was 4th and 4, they kick a field goal. I was kind of surprised that they kicked the field goal at 4th and 4 at the beginning of the game. No one really talks about that. But I thought this is the league of analytics, and you 4th and 4 and you're in scoring distance. That's like a good opportunity to go for it.
Or how about in the fourth quarter when he goes for it on 4th down in the red zone, converts, gets a 1st down, then goes on 3rd and goal and kicks the field goal.
Yeah, it was with 14 minutes and 12 seconds left in the 4th. They're down 18 points, and they went for it on 4th and 4 on the Bears' 9-yard line.
What was the point of even going for it? You wasted time.
3 yards later, on the Bears' 6-yard line, it was 4th and goal, and he decided to kick a field goal.
Look, you guys, I'm like one of the most optimistic.
What's going on here, man?
I'm one of the most I really am. For a long time, Pharaoh was the one kicking on Josh McDaniels, and I was having to play like devil's advocate and defend him. And we're at the point now, this is funny. It's comical how bad this is, and the fact that he has a job, I literally don't understand it. I'm optimistic, right? If he showed me anything that he was there was something to believe in, there's an identity, at least, hey man, we got a really, really good run game. Maybe all we do need is a quarterback. Then cool. I would be optimistic and be like, you know what? The players love him. He's got a nasty run game, or whatever the skill set may be, fill it in. But he doesn't have anything. There's nothing going for Josh McDaniels. Literally nothing. If boneheaded decisions and clueless head scratching moments and blowout losses and first time this record, first time that record, then yeah, Josh McDaniels is a great head coach. I don't there's no light at the end of the tunnel for this coach for me.
Ja Raider says, I heard different on Twitter. There was a player who said McDaniels lost the locker room. I also seen that Hondo Carpenter said that he received a text from a player saying that the reports of losing the locker room and firing the coach is crazy to him. Like, it's too early in the season. So I'm not sure if those reports about losing the locker room are true. Who knows? We'll see, man. Like, it's Monday Night Football game. Players don't want to get embarrassed, man.
Bro, if they get embarrassed, I'm gonna like. I
They
think
don't want to get embarrassed, bro.
this literally might be. I talked about it earlier. That line that you have connected to the locker room, and every time you lose, it gets thinner, thinner, thinner. If they get a blowout loss to the Bears, and then they go on Monday Night Football and get embarrassed again, there's a potential that this will be the week that he can't reel this thing back in. Like, it's gone too far.
Bougie says Ziegler and Josh McDaniels must be really good salesmen, because what they're saying to Davis to make what are they saying to Davis to make them think, you guys are right. We're on the right track. The fans just have to be patient. They're just, you know what? Hey, look. I said this. I said
26-year-old girl is a decoy bot hired by Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler.
I don't even know, man. But I'll go back to when I went live during the game at halftime, and as the game went on, obviously they were blown out, and I went on a little rant. And one of the things that I did say, and I kind of posted it again, y'all can check it out. One of the things I said was like, hey, look, if McDaniels doesn't get fired at the end of the season and we continue to see this type of brand of football, and Mark Davis says, oh, we're going to give you year 3, then at that point, don't get mad at Josh McDaniels. There's no point in getting mad at Josh McDaniels. That's where you got to point your frustrations. You got to look at Mark Davis. And I'm gonna pull up something here, because earlier this week I posted a poll, and I asked Raider Nation, everybody to let me know who you think the failures of the Raiders, whose fault is it? And let me post it right here.
Tell me why they would hold on to him. Play devil's advocate for me so I have any type of idea. Why would they hold on to him?
Well, there's 10 games left. If they somehow, somebody show some type of improvement, the offense with all the billion-dollar offense.
What do your eyes tell you, though? Yeah, I see it.
Right now, I don't see it.
With 10 games left with the teams that we play,
I don't see it.
I don't even think we could beat New York right now.
I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it with Josh McDaniels, man. It's just like you mentioned all those games. You pointed out how some of those games, some of those wins, and you just, hey, at the end of the day, you don't even have to look any further than that. You could just look at like the results, and the results are like, he's not a winner. He hasn't proven himself as a head coach. He has everything he needs for the most part in this offense. He's played with so many different quarterbacks. He's pointed the fingers countless times. Like his decision making, to me as a head coach, is terrible. Like, why would you go with Brian Hoyer? I get it. I understand why he was trying to do it. I will go with a veteran, but like you said, like the team is kind of a reflection of the head coach, and he's not showing any confidence. Like we mentioned during the game, like the fact that you would go for it on 4th and 4, when 4th and goal, you just change your mind. Like, nah, you gotta stick to what you believe in. Like, if you feel like, hey, you're going for 4th down, then hey, that entire drive you got to go for on 4th down. Unless like it was 4th and 30, 4th and 20, 4th and 15, then I get it. Where, and you still had some time to, score some points. Okay, but it was still on the 6-yard line. Literally, he moved the ball 2-3 yards further, and he decided not to go for it. It is what it is, man. Like I don't believe him as a head coach. I try to give him some time. That first year, I was like, you know what? Okay, maybe he did inherit a lot of players. They tried to make it work. We'll see. We'll see with another offseason, a full draft, free agency, getting their players in. We see what it looks like, and it looks worse.
You know what? You were talking about Mark Davis, and I think Mark Davis actually has an opportunity to play hero ball here. Like, if he actually goes and say the Raiders lose the next 9 out of the 10 games remaining on the schedule, unless he's privy to some side of knowledge of, hey, Mark, like, we're going to go get a quarterback at the top of this draft. Unless Mark Davis is in on that plan and understands why we're not winning games, that's the only way, like the only option. And even then, you're admitting to an owner that you're going to lose games. So I don't know how real that is either. So anyways, Mark Davis could literally play hero ball here. Everybody was talking about,
before you even go any further, look. So I have this up right here. I put up a poll. Who's to blame for the Raiders' failures? Just simple as that. I put down Mark Davis, Dave Ziegler, Josh McDaniels. Right now, everybody got Josh McDaniels on the mind right now. Like, we all are like, Josh, he needs to go. So I get why 70% of y'all was like, it's Josh McDaniels. But I thought this was interesting too. He gets 1%, maybe 2%, because the math ain't adding up right now. But Dave Z doesn't get a lot of hate right now. But you have to include him in with Josh McDaniels. You know, free agency hasn't been kind to us. We keep signing these contracts that Dave Z is signing are not good. This draft, we'll wait and see. But Dave Z, I think it's a package deal. If Josh goes, I want him to go as well.
I would say this free agency class hasn't been like as god awful.
It hasn't been as bad. It hasn't been bad, but his free agency has been terrible.
I mean, the Chandler Jones one was bad.
Chandler Jones, and I'm throwing Jimmy G in there too.
Well, Jimmy G as well. But was that Dave Z's guy, or was that Josh?
But why did you sign a contract? Like, it's okay to get the guys of the coaching staff that they want. I understand that. I get that part. But you're negotiating the contract, right? Josh McDaniels ain't negotiating the contract. It's Dave Z, right?
The amount of money they gave him is the problem.
What?
Yeah.
It is what it is. And then Mark Davis was the guy that got a lot of the criticism because, obviously we understand like who's hiring everybody, who's picking these coaches, who's been around all this losing. We talk about the quarterbacks, the coaching staff, but who's always been here through all the regimes, all the losing. And now this goes back to what I said earlier. If Josh McDaniels continues to put out this brand of football every Sunday, and he says McDaniels is coming back year 3, is Raider Nation going to be mad at McDaniels at that point? This is where you gotta. This guy is dancing with a lot. Right now, his winning, his hunger for winning is getting fulfilled by the Las Vegas Aces.
But here's the thing: how do you bring somebody back if the locker room's gone?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, how do you? And that's what I was alluding to is Mark Davis has a chance to play Moneyball here, and if he goes out there and fires Josh McDaniels, Mark actually looks like a hero in this situation because he's the only one who could fulfill everything that Raider Nation's asking for right now. So if Mark Davis goes out there and makes that move to fire, it shows that he has the audacity to step into a bad situation, say, hey, I got it wrong. Look, you can say you got it wrong with the Gruden hire, the Jack Del Rio hire. If he can own up to this is an obvious mistake. Look, you never have a situation where fans have this type of outpour and it turns around and then you believe in Josh McDaniels. Like, every loss from here on out is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're going to feel it more and more and more. So if Mark Davis could come out here, fire Josh McDaniels and say, hey, I got it wrong, I'm going to find the right guy, I can live with that. It's just don't let it be Josh McDaniels. Even if you go out there and you hire somebody, some young guy like a Ben Johnson that we're talking about, and say 4 years down the line, hey, it don't work. If it ain't Josh McDaniels, I'm cool.
I'm telling you right now, I think Josh McDaniels comes back if they figure out a way to get to like 7 wins. If they figure out a way to get to 7 wins,
I can't see it. I don't know
because in some of those games, there has to be like a couple of upsets right there because right now they're at 3, so they went 4 games. So like there's gonna be some upsets.
What if they don't win a game the rest of the year?
They win next week. Look, if they win next week against Detroit, a 5-2 team, right now one of the best NFC teams, they got blown out by the Ravens, so they're gonna be angry, and they've been on the road for 3 games. 3 straight road games, and now they're playing at home Monday Night Football. man, that's going to be a crazy road game for the Raiders. So, man, oh man.
But do you get what I'm saying though? Like, you don't, with the way that the fan base is reacting to this head coach and the way that these losses, dude, they turned off the comments on his post-game presser. That's funny. That's good. They turned off the comments for his post-game presser. Like, all the signs are there, bro. Like,
yeah,
there's almost no coming back from this. And look, this was a relationship that when the hire was initially made, it was already a relationship that was off to a weird start. Like, pretty much half of the nation was already divided on it. You know what I mean? And then that first year they made the move for Devontae, and we're like, all right, man, like, let's see this optimism. They generated a buzz in that offseason, which got more of the fan base to buy into him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, man, after the performance and the attitude and the way he carries this team and the lack of adjustments and the innate ability to beat horrible teams, and you have 2 wins above teams above 500. It's just, you go down, you have blown 5 double-digit leads. Man, come on, man.
We got a call. We got a call.
Going south.
Call from
Brian.
Oh, it's Brian again. This was good.
What's going on, Brian? What's up, man? Can you hear me?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Appreciate you calling in, man. Let us know your thoughts, man. What's on your mind?
I'm probably do the same thing I did last week, but you need Aiden O'Connell in there.
Yeah, facts.
Remember, funny thing, we were talking about how Josh has a problem with Aiden.
Yeah.
And I really think if you look at this presser, that just seals it for me. He just said Aiden made every mistake in the world last week or when he started, and then he came out. So what did Brian do? Oh, Brian didn't do nothing. It was the world, and it was the offensive line, it was the defense, and there's 100 of us that could have done something better, but Brian did it. That's not Brian's fault.
Man, all I seen was a lot of dinking and dunking with Brian Hoyer, and then also missing wide open guys. Staying on the
behind all kinds.
Staying on that first read, not moving off that first read is just.
I'm surprised he didn't call out Aiden O'Connell for, we can't turn the football over with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He's got to make better decisions. I'm surprised he didn't shoot Aiden under the bus under that.
And that's the thing. Why put him in at all?
I know. That was if you were going to put him in, it should have probably been at halftime.
Right. You just want to save Brian some embarrassment? Or what?
Let him go out there and lose. That was his game, right? Like, let him finish it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you picked him. Let him do it.
Yeah. I don't get it either. I think McDaniels is not paying. He's not coaching, or he's not being confident. There's nothing about him that's being confident right now. Like, when you watch him in the game, he's not confident in this offense, which is crazy to say because he's an offensive mind. He's a guy that prides himself on his offenses that he's coached, and an offense with Josh Jacobs, not McDaniels, but Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Michael Mayer. My boy Michael. Hey, that's another guy. Brian Hoyer missed him wide open for a touchdown. Down the seam, if you remember that.
Shot.
Yep.
Yeah, his arm is too weak, and he has no confidence in his arm, just like Jimmy, as they shouldn't.
But it's also vision. Like, what's crazy is Michael Mayer was his first read. He was literally staring down Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer throws his hand up, wide open down the seam, splitting 2 safeties. We talked about it in the preview show, playing that cover 2 system. When they're playing man, and you have an opportunity to go down the seam and split 2 safeties, Michael Mayer's going to have that opportunity. Mm-hmm. What do you know? Boom, pops up on film. Michael Mayer's wide open, hand up in the air, would have been a walk-in touchdown. Brian Hoyer looks at him, looks to his check down, which was Jacoby Myers on a simple in route, probably about a 5-yard in, and hits him for a little check down gain. It's just we're not going anywhere with these. 1, this head coach, and 2, these quarterbacks.
Yeah, the quarterback, Jimmy and Brian, are afraid of their own arm strength. They know they can't do it. they're just being honest with themselves. And Josh McDaniels won't be honest with himself.
Yeah, I don't get the whole Aiden O'Connell thing is weird. Like, why does he? Bro, it's like he's getting like I don't know, like hazed by the head coach. Like, I don't get what's going on. I've never seen a head coach treat a rookie like that.
Let me get 20 seconds on this. This is what I think happened. I think that Dave and Josh had a disagreement on drafting Aiden in the first place. And he doesn't want Aiden to play because he's going to overshadow Jimmy if he starts doing good. So he doesn't want to start that quarterback controversy, so he's blocking him from the beginning. And that's why he keeps like taking jabs at Aiden. Every time he says this isn't preseason, he's picking on Aiden. He's saying his name indirectly.
See the problem I have with because I've heard people say like, oh man, like Josh McDaniels is throwing Aiden O'Connell under the bus with these comments, and what I don't get is that if Aiden O'Connell is playing well, that means your offense is looking better. That means the Raiders are that much closer to winning. You know what I mean? If we have a better offense on the football field, that means we have a better chance of winning because we know the pieces on offense. We know what that could look like if everything is hitting on all cylinders. So that's why I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, who cares who's out there? I don't care who's out there. I want the Raiders to win. That's all I care about.
He wants to win his way, and everybody else just wants to win.
Yeah, man. If that's the case, man, he got to go. He got to go, man. He got to go, man. I know you were calling for Aiden O'Connell last week, and we tried to look at it from a perspective. Okay, well, let's see what this Brian Hoyer can do with a veteran. And man,
and he is so sold on Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, he is sold on Jimmy. I don't get it. Like, he's so sold on Jimmy. I'm almost curious as if they go even and get a guy in the first round. That's where I'm at. Like, if Jimmy comes back, I could see him rolling with Jimmy and still have this false hope that they can get it done.
Well, they try to get that quarterback that's now with Houston. So, but then Brian just put something in my mind right now. Like, that is kind of interesting. Like, and we don't find this out until like years later after they leave the Raiders. But like the disagreements behind the scenes. So that can be a possibility. I mean, I think Ziegler has the final say on like roster decisions, I guess. You could say like who gets picked in the draft and things like that. But yeah, that's an interesting a point. That's an interesting point. But yeah, man, what's your thoughts on the Raiders moving forward, man? They play the Detroit Lions Monday Night Football next week. Like, what do you think it's going to take for the Raiders to turn their season around, or do you think that at this point the Raiders need to go in a different direction?
I hate to beat the Aiden drum, but the only thing he can do to save his job right now, Josh McDaniels, is to throw in Aiden because everybody else wants it. You got to satisfy the fans a little bit. You can't be this hard-headed all the time. Right. But if he stays this hard-headed for the rest of the season, he's just going to dig his own grave.
And what's crazy is when Jimmy G comes back, he's going to start, and guess where Aiden is going to go? Inactive, emergency quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like Brian Hoyer, it's like he has that backup job on lock for whatever reason. But, and it's a possibility that Aiden O'Connell is doing a lot of things behind the scene that are not good. Who knows? We don't know. Like, at the end of the day, like they know what happens during practice. They're preparing the players for the game. So, and that's what Josh McDaniels was trying to make a point of. He was trying to say, like, hey, like, we know, like, during the week, we're trying to figure out who's going to give us the best chance to win. And when we did see Aiden out there, he did turn the ball over a lot. But I still want him out there. I still want him to go through those mistakes because he's gonna learn from it. But
yeah,
it is what it is, man.
Hoyer threw 2 picks, and Aiden threw 1 pick and a touchdown.
Oh, that pick six, that ball floated in the air for. I could have took it to the house, man. If I was a corner out there, man, I could have got up out my house and got that ball, man. It was terrible.
Oh,
it's terrible, man.
He said them. They jumped the route before the DB made the cut before the wide receiver made the cut. If you ever get a chance to look at it, DB breaks on the ball before the wide receiver gets his head completely around and just walks into the end zone.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But hey, man, Brian, we appreciate you calling in, man. Hopefully next week we'll be talking about Aiden Connell having a huge game, but most likely, Josh McDaniels is going to be too stubborn to start him. But unless like someone steps in, I feel like the only way that's going to happen is if like Mark Davis like put the rookie in. Unless you want to coach.
That's what happened last time.
What do you mean?
That's the only reason Aiden started last time, in my opinion, is because Josh had called him in. I mean, Mark had called Josh in for a private meeting. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah.
This year, I know last year that we heard a few times that happened with Josh McDaniels, where Mark Davis met up with Josh McDaniels after the game. This happened this year too as well?
Yeah, before the game and the Chargers game. And I think that's when the conversation went down. Said, okay, Jimmy's down. We got this kid, and everybody in the locker room lost him. You're going to play the kid, not Hoyer. And that's why he was like, okay, if I'm going to play this kid, I'm going to make sure he fails, and I'm going to get him sacked 7 times because I don't want him back in.
Hey, man, if McDaniels is doing stuff like that, I do not want him to ever enter. I don't want him to have anything to do with the silver and black. The Raiders, like, if he's doing stuff like that, bro, like, come on, man. Like, that's some weird Patriots, like, I don't know what to call that, man. Hopefully, if that's true, what you're saying is true, man. But I hope not. I hope not. But hey, Brian, we appreciate you calling in. We gonna get back to the show, man. And like I said, we go live. We go live every week, man. Tuesday is usually our call-in shows. Sometimes we do it on Saturday. We'll go live on Saturday as well. But just tune in.
All right, thanks, fellas. Hopefully, we talk about some Aiden next week.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Appreciate you calling in.
All right, thanks.
All right, please. Our guy Brian, man, coming through, man, with a call, man. Hey, yeah, we forgot to announce it. Brian's seen it. The number right now you see on the screen is 628-333-9343. If you guys want to call in, let us know your thoughts. I know, like, man, after this game, you some people want to come in and call in and let us know, like, about Josh McDaniels, Mark Davis. As you can see the poll, like, who's to blame for the Raiders' failures? And we got Mark Davis is 28%, Josh McDaniels 70%.
Hey, do you remember? Yeah, Depot makes a good point here. Remember when in the presser, Josh McDaniels says, like, it's not preseason when talking about, like, Aiden O'Connell getting the start. He's like, yeah, look, man, it's not the preseason. Talking about
and that's how I knew he was mad. He was mad because he repeated himself, because he said that the first time when they implied that Aiden O'Connell should probably get the start. He said, oh, it's not the preseason. And then the second time, obviously, was after the game, where they were talking about how, like, I think Vinny, one of the beat writers, was like, he asked him, like, hey, when you think that the rookie should have probably started or come in earlier in the game, like, this would have been a valuable experience for him. And he's like, it's not the preseason.
He's so annoying, bro.
Yeah, man.
So annoying.
Call from
The king of controversy.
to accept.
What's going on? We got the king of controversy. What's going on, bro? What's up, JT?
I mean, it is what it is. You know what it is, man. You know what? I'll be objective a little bit.
Okay.
Did hear some news from a friend that there was a meeting between Ziegler and Mark, like I said, about the trajectory and everything was going on, especially after the last incident with I forgot old boy who ran up on Mark after the Aces game.
Yeah.
So supposedly,
I guess there's like two ways Josh to save his job. He has to make the playoffs, which the team still can do, because technically we're second in the West. You know what I'm saying? Really, like, a game or game and a half back of the wild card. That's one way he can save his job. The other way is if they contend and might have a full turnaround and we just miss playoffs. Those are the only two options that Josh has at keeping his job.
Well, that's. I feel like that's obvious, though. Ain't that obvious? Like, I feel like that's obvious. If the Raiders, throughout all this stuff, all the fire Josh McDaniels, they end the season like on a playoff run, or just miss the playoffs. Like, I feel like Josh McDaniels is going to come back next season.
I mean,
when you say that before even hearing that from somebody, when you even said that.
At the beginning of the season, no, not the way Mark was talking about. You know what I'm saying? It was like a love story at first, you know what I'm saying? Talking about it's going to take time, you know what I'm saying? Giving them all the excuses in the world.
Right.
But he's burnt all his bridges. He's burnt all his bridges in 2 years. Yes. He had a 4-year deal, and he burnt his bridges within 2 years.
Right.
You know, he burnt it with the team. But what the real issue is, he's burnt it with agents. Like, people don't realize that free agents aren't trying to come to the Raiders because of what's been transpiring. Like, people was all happy about Derek Carr. You don't realize the way that we treated Derek Carr and your franchise guy who's done everything and bent over backwards and played for you hurt. Why would I come play for an organization like that? That's just going to throw me to the wolves and throw me to the streets. They seen what they did. Got the best running back in the league. You just seen how they treated him. You're seeing how they're treating Devontae Adams right now. You're seeing how they're treating Hunter Renfrow. Like, people, y'all need to wake up. This is what's transpiring with the organization. And when you want free agents to come here, they're going to say, well, how did they treat him?
Right.
How are they mingling and communicating with that player's agent? Because remember, the agent's going to have influence over that player. I don't know if you really want to go over there. You know what I'm saying? Ziegler, he's going to be hardball. He's going to lowball us. He's not going to give us the most money. Like, this is a business.
Right.
You know, and honestly, Ziegler isn't that bad. The issue is Josh. Josh has burned bridges with a lot of players. He's hurt players a lot. He's hurt a lot of players' career and money-making ability. Like, everyone who's on the Raiders right now has lost money if they want to go to another team. The third time's a 1-year deal.
Well, okay, all right. Let me play the other side to it, because I just posted a poll, right? And I asked, like, what the Raiders' failures. Who's the cause of the Raiders' failures? And a lot of people were obviously got Josh McDaniels on the mind, so they're saying Josh McDaniels. And then they have Mark Davis 28%, and then 1% or 2% people brought up Dave Ziegler. Now, I made a point and said, well, if Josh goes, I think Dave Z needs to go, because he's a part of the problem too. He's been handing out some of these contracts, in my opinion, they're not good. They're not working. Chandler Jones, terrible contract. Terrible contract. Jimmy G, terrible contract. That first draft, if you want to give him a pass, that's on you. But that first draft, for the most part, it doesn't look too good, to be honest with you.
I personally give him a pass
on that first. You want to give him a pass.
That's just me.
That's on you. Now this draft, wait and see. It looks like it could be solid. Tyree Wilson looks improved. Michael Mayer might look like a player. Trey Tucker looks like he might be solid.
I do want to say the only reason why I give him a pass is you get hired in January. You're working with old scouts that were with John Gruden. You're trying to get ahead in free agency. Then the draft is right around the corner. You don't have a pick until the 3rd round because of the Devontae move, which at the time everybody was praising it. So you have a picks in the 3rd and late round draft picks. That's a crapshoot. You can't expect to nail on all these picks with mixed scouting rooms. So look, the first year, yeah, but second year, I'll say this. When it comes to the draft, I have optimism. I think Tyree can develop. I think Michael Mayer is a good tight end and could be a future big time player in the National Football League if given the right opportunity with the right quarterback. I think you keep going down the line with the Ja'Cory Bennett's, the Trey Tuckers. Those guys have potential and they're contributing. So I'm not just going to completely rule out Dave Ziegler with the draft decisions. It's the guy who's coaching them and putting them in position that I got a problem with.
Me too. I'm just not leaving out Dave Z, but go ahead, JT.
Okay, I'll say this. To answer your question, who's responsible? I mean, it's obvious. It's Josh McDaniels who's responsible. Who is held accountable is Mark and Ziegler. Now, how you want to calculate the percentages, who's more accountable than the other, it's personal preference. But Mark and Zig are both held accountable because Mark hired Ziegler because he told him on what his site was or what he wants to see in the team, what he can do with the team. And then Ziegler's responsible because he's putting the guy who's running the team. So, I mean, it's how you want to weigh it. Overall, Mark has the most responsibility, but can you be held accountable when you're the one really not doing the hiring and bringing in the coach?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that. Now, as for the draft, no, you're responsible for first year's draft. I understand what you said, Ray, about, you're using the Raiders draft. No. Through that whole season, you still have your scouts from the Patriots. You know what players are going to be in your system. You know what people you want to draft, and they got a pick of the litter of who they wanted because of the pick that they got.
Wait, are you talking about year 2 or year 1?
Both.
Because year 1,
he doesn't get a pass. The year 1, you don't get a pass.
Well, year 1, if you look at logistics, they don't fire the scouting team from the former year, so you've got a mixed room of scouts of the old regime, the new regime. You're getting ahead in free agency. You get hired at the end of January. You're trying to assess free agents, so that happens in March. And then the draft kicks off in April, and they admitted that first year they were, like, running around like scramble-headed because the draft comes around the corner. You don't have necessarily enough time to scout them. So I could understand that in that aspect, especially when you don't pick until the 3rd round. The draft is a crapshoot. It's not like – every team you go down in the draft, it's not like they're nailing the draft in the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round. Yeah, the good teams with good general managers that are established organizations, yeah, they're hitting on those picks. But year 1, 2 months after getting into the building, I don't know. I have leeway on that one.
I can give you free agents, and you can make an argument for leeway, but for drafts, no. You're looking at you have access to drafts and looking at from 2 different organizations. You have the staff of the organization of the people from the Patriots and from the Raiders on foresight on what the GMs from the prior regime, what they were looking at, why they were looking at this, and you can align it for what your vision is. So you don't get a pass for draft. I don't care if it's 3rd or not. No. The free agents and what you were saying, I give you that, yeah. And you can't argue that. Because then you got to, you're changing your whole trajectory of like people's careers, Now people who thought that they might have a chance and opportunity to go with you and the Patriots, and it ain't going to be the same when you're saying, hey, you're coming up with the Raiders. What better be you got with the Raiders? None. So I give you that. But like draft, draft is very simple, man. It's not as complicated and complex as people put it. It really isn't. Unless you have incompetent people in those positions.
I mean, the Raiders made it seem like it's complicated with all these missed draft picks in the 1st round.
I mean,
all these years.
You can say that, but in later rounds, our later round picks are good. Our later round pick guys they do better than our early round picks. So you can't just sit here and say that. The scouts will be doing good when they found Max, they found Hunter. You know what I'm saying? They found multiple people late round.
But we have multiple 1st round picks where, like, look, let's be honest. At the very least, if you're picking in
late round though,
if at the very least, if you're
early picks.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But at the very least, if you're picking in the 1st round, first few rounds, those are where you find starters. And every 1st round pick from that 2020 draft or that 2021 draft, they're not on a team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that, that's say it again.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about when they got their draft pick and picking from the 3rd round. We're not talking about.
Oh yeah, and that's about my point. That was my original point. If you want to talk about that,
but if we want to nitpick it, in the third round they got Dylan Parham, and is he starting? He started the last 2 years. He started as a rookie, and he started and you found a starter in the third round. So I mean,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I can't sit here and be like, oh well, no. You can get talent in the third, fourth, and we typically do. And our better picks are usually third or fourth. So when they come in, they're supposed to be, hey, look, we typically know what to do with the first 2 picks. They were supposed to improve on that. Now, this is their first, last year was their first draft getting a first round pick, and they're doing the typical Raider way.
Well, Max and Hunter weren't of this regime, so it's a completely different scouting room. And it's not saying like just because the Raiders in recent history have hit on later round picks, that's not necessarily the way that it's supposed to pan out. The fact of the matter is we had 5 first round picks.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We had 5 first round picks. We whiffed on absolutely all of them outside of, Josh Jacobs, you could argue. And so it's I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
It's a combination of both because it's not the end all be all because like I said, you can't win. I mean, unless you like get specifics like one of type players, you're really not gonna win Super Bowls off drafts. You can help solidify and like secure your spot into becoming better. But outside of what Patrick Mahomes, outside of I think that he's the only one who really like won Super Bowls for his team.
Yeah, I mean, and you could probably argue that there's only one elite quarterback in the NFL, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and I don't think it's about just like one draft and you're in the Super Bowl. That's obviously the anomaly. It's drafting well in order to develop a consistent contender. Because how many of these teams that have drafted well have established players at those key positions that they drafted and then go on to extend, and those are foundation pieces of an organization. So the fact that the Raiders missed out on 5 of them means that the foundation of what your future was going to be, you missed on literally all of them outside of Josh.
Right.
So that's your organization back.
And on top of that too, that's like those are like attempts where you could have got really good players, foundational players. You know what I mean? It's good that you're finding gems in the later round. Max Crosby. That's literally like
that was the lottery. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's like needle in a haystack. Like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. But the guys that you're supposed to find are in the first round, and literally, we consistently missed on that to the point where look at the holes on this team. There's so many different holes on this team, especially on the defensive side of the football.
But we have to look at what it is, like the writings on the wall. Like the one thing that Josh McDaniels did bring from the Patriots, he doesn't like playing rookies. Like everyone keeps saying, why doesn't he play O'Connell? He doesn't like playing rookies.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Trey didn't get no burn last year. That's why O'Connell really didn't get no burn until he was forced. He's not going to do it. He's always going to trust the veteran because he could understand what the veteran is going to do.
Yeah.
He's always been like that. Bill Belichick has always been like that. So for us just to sit here and think, oh, he's going to play the rookie now, he can't. No, he can play Brian Hoyer. And the reason why he put the rookie in that situation to try and force him is because he was going to see if he was going to force him to make a mistake, which is what he did. He made a mistake, and it justifies him playing Brian Hoyer. You can game plan of playing safe. But the rookie might take a chance and go left like Derek did.
So I'm curious, JT. I'm curious. Do you want Josh McDaniels, and if not, who do you want coaching the Raiders next year?
Josh McDaniels should have been fired after Week 15 last year. So no, I don't want him. No, absolutely not. You know what I've been saying the whole time.
That's why I said I set you up and said if not, who do you want? Because I really want to ask you who you want coaching next year.
Who would I want coaching next year?
Yeah, who do you want Dave? So it sounds like you want Dave Z to stay, and you want him to pick the next head coach.
He's earned the right to stay, unfortunately, because he won the job and he got hired. You can't just fire GMs like that and then expect have any type of continuity within organizations to bring in people who would actually come and be a GM here and not feel like they're being sabotaged. So you can't just do that. So we're kind of stuck with Zig for maybe another 2 to 3 years.
But the Raiders are in a unique spot because we have Champ Kelly in the building, and Champ Kelly was that Champ Kelly, the assistant GM that we got from Chicago, that was supposed to be the next big GM around the National Football League. And
we interviewed him. We actually interviewed him as a GM candidate, and obviously we went with Ziegler, and then Ziegler hired Champ as the assistant GM. So
I think he's going to be leaving in the offseason. He's not going to be with us much.
But I'm just saying, like, if Mark Davis
moved on, you have a guy who's been in the building, has his scouts.
Yeah, but I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You can't. Like, you can do it with the coach. You can't do that with the GM.
Why do you say that?
If it was Al, it would make sense. But Mark can't do that. Mark doesn't have history.
The unique thing about Champ Kelly is that he's not of the Patriots regime. He came from outside of the Patriots regime. So he is.
Yeah, so I'm saying there's people who are hold-ons, and he's a Mark hold-on. He's part of Mark's regime. He's not part of Ziegler's regime or Josh's regime.
They hired him.
And you see that.
Ziegler, he hired him.
They hired him, but it wasn't so he wanted.
But if it was part of Mark's, then Mark has a guy in the building that if he were to fire Dave and Josh, that Champ Kelly could be a guy that's already in the building that could step up in and hire an interview for the next head coach.
Then Champ would have a bigger role in what's being happening right now. He would be talking a lot more in media. He would have a bigger role, and he doesn't.
Yeah. But who's your coach? Who's your coach?
Who's my coach right now?
Yeah, let's talk about it because right now, like, no one's happy with Josh McDaniels. Most likely, he's probably not going to come back, but there is a chance that he could come back. It's 10 games left. We understand that. But if he does not come back, who is someone that you would think that would be a good coaching candidate for the Raiders?
This is something I have been looking into. I would say.
Did I put you in the spot? I threw a curveball to JT.
Kind of did something I've been thinking of, but like it kind of changed. Like I kind of like the New York Giants coach, but like he's starting to look a little bad.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
He's an upgrading. Like honestly, he's fiery, good with media. We don't have a real big media in Vegas that's going to kill him like they're going to kill him in New York. We're not going to be on his business like they are in New York.
Oh, you talking about
he actually
Brian Dable?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to draft and get his guys. He knows how to motivate his players, which is something that's been really lacking here in with the Raiders. He's not a super dictator. He's a player friendly coach. Like we need someone like that. But lately, I've been kind of like looking at it a little bit more. I have to look at more tape.
I got you, man. I hear a lot of us, man.
Offensive coordinator from, well, yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing. Yeah, I struggle. I would say the offensive coordinator from the Minnesota Vikings would be a guy I would interview.
Hey, but real quick, JT, before you give us some more candidates, Demi by Nature with a $20 super chat, man. Appreciate the support. He says, move off Josh and Z, give Kelly a chance, and go get Detroit's OC or Eric B or an OC from Shanahan's staff. Hey, Shanahan's staff is crazy.
Shout out to Demi by Nature. I love this one.
Demi by Nature, man. He comes in with the fire super chat right now. What do you think of that, man? I think Ray, you said the Detroit's OC, Ben Johnson.
I've got an offensive minded coordinator that I want, and I've got a defensive minded coordinator that I've got.
Eric Bieniemy is interesting, but then when you hear some of the players talk about him and like his hard coaching style, I'm like, ooh, you think that's going to be good, him as a head coach? But then you've seen the success that he had with Patrick Mahomes. We understand that. And he kind of has that quarterback in Washington. I'm not sure how well they're playing now. I think they lost last weekend, but he looks all right with that.
How's looking better?
How's looking better, right?
How's looking better?
Yeah, because I've seen a couple of games early in the season, so I'm like, ooh, Bieniemy might be a nice coaching candidate. But then I heard he has a hard coaching style where like it can go left real quick. So
I thought he had a weird contract too. There's something about his contract too that's like he could become a head coach as I don't know. It's weird.
I think he's kind of set, and I think he's like really going to take over Washington. But I would like Eric because of his mind and just like to see what he would do with this offense. Because he has speed, he has a possession receiver in Myers, but he has a dynamic, one of a kind player in Devontae. Like I would have loved to see what Eric needed to do with this offense, even with Jimmy G. But honestly, I don't see Eric. I don't even think we're going to interview him. To be honest with you, if he was available to interview, I do know someone from the Niners is going to get interviewed. Even like I think their DB coach, the DB coach was be someone I would like to interview because we do have a lot of young guys who actually. I still like our defensive back core. I just don't like the people coaching them. They're being coached wrong. I think there's so much more potential that's just not being used. But yeah, like this coaching technique, all that would improve them dramatically. But there's not like I would really have to look into it more. Like I said, I'm trying to watch a lot more games of other teams. Like just because I already told you what I think of the Raiders. Like we're gonna win 7 games. Like I don't even think 7 games is gonna take Josh McDaniels.
Hey, but earlier, look, earlier. Hey, a Raider Allegiance is throwing shots already. Let me. He said they're gonna start drug testing callers after this.
Drug testing who?
They said they're gonna start drug testing callers after this.
But unfortunately, I hate to say it, like, hey man, you can say I'm on that truth because unfortunately,
hey,
I'm on that truth serum. That's what it
is. This is something like that.
Why did you have to come in like that? That's hilarious. But yeah, man. Hey, man. Like, hey, it's still like 10 games left, man. That's the crazy thing. We're at Raider Nation right now. We're all like, we're acting like we haven't won a game, but it's just the fact that Josh McDaniels, the way he has this team looking, this offense with all the pieces that we have on offense, we just look like we're not going to win a game after this. I'll be honest with you.
Well, no, this is who they were. I'm gonna be honest. Like the expectations that we have. Like I love being a fan and you could cheer for your team, but you guys aren't realistic. This is a max 7-win team, and y'all starting to see that now.
Mm-hmm.
This is who they are. So like I'm gonna be honest. Like can we beat the Lions? Absolutely. Like because Goff can make mistakes and Goff might take some throws. And honestly, like guys are catching the ball in our backfield right now. They're catching balls, they're not dropping balls, so they can make mistakes. Now, personally, do I see us winning that game? No, it's a freaking awful damn matchup. It's a terrible matchup. They have too many explosive players on the outside. We can't just focus. It could be a long day, but there is an opportunity for us to win. I personally hope that we get blown out, so we fire Josh McDaniels. Like if they get blown out bad.
Okay. Hey, if that is where the call ends, that's genius. I hope Josh McDaniels gets fired as well. I hope he gets. Look, I don't hope it for the Raider players. I love those guys, but as far as a team, as far as the head coach goes, yeah, I hope he gets blown out. I hope Ben Johnson puts on a good interview process for Mark Davis. But hey, you guys are killing me in the chat, man. I think we might have lost Pharaoh. I think we might have lost JT in the call. But that was a great call, man.
Hey, hey, JT, before we let you go, man, we got to shout you out, man. Hey, I did not know the whole time, man, Up for Review. You started a YouTube channel. Hey, salute to, hey, the whole time, I swear to God, like I did not know that was
Your
you.
camera was cut out. Did you? Whatever.
Yeah. Nah, the whole time, bro. I did not know it was you the whole time when you were in our chat. If you, hey Ray, if you remember, he had man, but he does have a YouTube channel. So everybody in the chat, if you haven't subscribed, go look up for review. If you can put it up, if one of my mods can actually put it up, let me see if I could. If one of my mods can put up, look for up for review and put the link in the chat and subscribe to my guy. Let him get to 1K, man. Let him get there. This guy knows what he's talking about. That's why we have him on the phone right now, talking to him and spending our time talking football with him, man. He knows his stuff. But JT, man, hey, appreciate you calling in. Any last thoughts on like what we're going to be looking forward to against the Detroit Lions next week, Monday Night Football?
I mean, to be optimistic, like I said, it's any given Sunday or any given Monday, so we can.
Why is everybody laughing right now?
I don't know.
Hey,
man,
all I gotta know. Hey, I'm gonna put this all on a Raider Allegiance.
I'm gonna get him. That's okay. But no, but I would say
hey, there we go. We got your link in the chat, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Check them.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, go check
everybody, man. Hit them likes up, subscribe. I'm not gonna say we gotta, get everybody up. But I appreciate the time and all that.
Hey, yeah, appreciate you calling in, JT.
Yeah.
This is the first time you call in. Every time you be like, hey, I'm gonna call in. You never call in. So it's the first time you called in.
Man, finally did.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man.
Josh McDaniels gone, you don't have to cheer for it like a blowout loss, because if it's not this game, I see him making it to the end of the season.
All right, good show, man. Appreciate you, man. All right. My guy JT in the building came through. He finally called in. He hit me up on IG, said I'm gonna call in. He never called in. This is the first time calling in. And hey, as you can see, JT up for review. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He knows his stuff, man. But Raider Allegiance, the thing is, you caught that first.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I'm over here like
you're in conversation, and I'm like,
I'm in conversation, and I'm looking. Where are you laughing at? And I look at the screen.
Oh, it set the whole conversation left.
Woo! Man, that was a good laugh. That was funny. Hey, JT, you better get him back for that one. But
right,
yeah,
so
man,
let's move here, man. Stock up, stock down. Are we closing out? What do you want to do?
Hey, we'll just wrap it up real quick. Let's talk about the players that played well, that didn't play well, but mostly we'll talk about the players that played well, because we understand, like, when you lose 30-12, one of the worst teams in the NFL, like, we get it. We talked about all the bad things that happened that last game, but let's actually talk about some of the good things. Tyree Wilson got his first sack, forced fumble, almost had another sack, actually had the highest PFF grade of any Raider that game. Hey, he's getting better and better, and this is what you guys were alluding to about this draft class is kind of starting to show up. Michael Mayer still looks good. He should have had a touchdown. He should have had Hoyer should have found him.
He could have had back-to-back weeks of 100 yards, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Who are some people that you felt like showed out a little bit last game?
So I've got a nickname for him now, man. Before free agency kicked off, he was a guy I wanted. I got a little bit of kickback for wanting a wide receiver in free agency when, that wasn't an area of need. I said that I wanted us to go out and get Jacoby Myers. They went out and got Jacoby Myers. And now, man, he's Mr. Consistent in the offense. Like, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. Jacoby Myers is finding a way to be productive. He's quiet. He's just a hard worker and shows up. And, man, he just contributes every single week. So, and shout out to Jacoby Myers, man. He's on my my stock up.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers, and he finished the game with like 7 catches, 50 yards, along with Devontae Adams, who should have caught that touchdown. Should have caught that. And I know, like, he probably felt after the game. You see how he was singing a different tune after the game. He was like, hey, I should have caught that ball. And then as far as the offense, or they asked him about like what needed to be done to improve this team. He was just like, he didn't really have any answers. But as far as the offense itself, he was talking about mixing it up instead of talking about like literally getting the ball and things like that. So he understands like he should have caught that touchdown at the end of the game. I mean, like it should have been 21-10. There should have been a chance for the Raiders to come back. But it is what it is. But yeah, man, hey, that pretty much. I mean, that's all that there is. When you get blown out, there's not a lot of highlights as far as like good players that really showed up. But we wanted to talk about Tyree Wilson because like he's literally getting better before our eyes right now. Like from the get off, people were complaining about his get off, and it was terrible. We all seen it.
Hey, we talked about it last week though too, about like with his length and his arms, him being able to get his hand on the football and create turnovers and get those strip stacks and not just sacks.
Mm-hmm.
And he got that forced fumble this week. So man, hopefully that's a part of his game that moving forward. Let's end on a little bit of a positive note. Moving forward, man, let's hope that Tyree, that could be a part of his game.
No, hey JT, it was just let me see if I could pull it up. It was just this.
It was just the point in conversation. Like I just
like we were just like we're paying attention to the conversation, and then Ray, I'm gonna blame you because you posted it. I didn't even see it until you posted it.
I had to. It's good.
But that's what it was. I don't know why that had me in tears.
Boogie said went from I want the ball to my bad. Oh, this is the story of the Raiders season.
My bad for facts, 100%. But yeah, man, hey, man, that's pretty much it. We kind of started off like on 100 miles per hour talking about like coaching replacements, Harbaugh rumors, things that like, hey, man, for me, I'm trying to stay away from Harbaugh. I mean, I wanted him back then, but now it's kind of like let's move forward. Let's find a guy that knows how to he relates to players, younger, innovative. Mike McDaniel, like you know what I mean, like that. We got the wrong McDaniel. Let's be honest here. We got the wrong McDaniels, the guy in Miami, and we played in Miami Dolphins this year too. Oh, that's the crazy part. Oh my God, that's gonna be a tough game. But yeah, hey Ray, any last thoughts?
This is just a photo of the future of the Raiders here, bud. One of these two guys.
Who's this? Oh, okay. Is you talking about Hunter? The dude from
Ben Johnson. That's Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator of Detroit. And then the other one is the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, and he's got a tricky name.
He used to be the defensive coordinator for the Broncos.
Yep. Ejiro Evero.
How do you feel about that? Defensive coordinator, defensive coach?
Here's the thing. This is the thing about it is when you read what people say about him, Ejiro is a star, man. A bona fide future head coach. An NFC coach says impressive was the first word that came. Another text about Evero, whose body of work last year as defensive coordinator with the Broncos is worth a deep dive. Denver allowed 20 or fewer points in 9 games last year, but the way in which he manipulated and transformed his personnel to attack opponents on a week-to-week basis was epic. Evero has elite coaching ability, apprenticeship resume, having worked under Jim Harbaugh, Mike McCarthy, Sean McVay, and now Frank Reich. He's quite confident and a respect generator. Evero was among the most sought-after defensive coordinators on the market after a series of head coaching interviews last year with the Colts, Panthers, and among other teams. Okay. He sounds well-respected. He's young. He's worked with a lot of top names, but
I just hope whoever we get as a head coach, they come with an all-star staff. You know what I mean? They come with a defensive coordinator. Whether it's a defensive coach, then get a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Whether it's that's
the thing about these younger guys is they're more connected. You know what I mean? That's why I like a Ben Johnson. I would like to see Ben Johnson just because the resume and the accolade that he has with some of these people around the league.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see, man. It's got to be the right one. If it's a defensive-minded head coach, he's got to be able to nail an offensive coordinator. Like a true up-and-coming offensive coordinator. It can't be like, a running backs coach from his former team. It's got to be. There's got to be put a lot of thought and respect into who your coordinators are going to be.
And just like Demi by Nature said earlier, man, like Mike McDaniel, he was from the Kyle Shanahan staff, so getting someone from his staff, might not be a bad idea. But at the end of the day, like I said, we want someone that can be a good head coach, but also bring a good staff with him as well. Because
hey, the way the Eagles are making moves defensively, I wouldn't mind the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. coming over here and hopefully building up the defense.
But like it's one of those things where you be like, do you see the talent that the Eagles have?
It's crazy.
Bro, they just traded for their GM
for nothing.
He has to be top 2 GM in the league right now. Like the roster the Eagles have right now is like an all-star, like super team. Like they literally got the former all-pro safety from the Titans for a 5th rounder. And was it a player part of that trade as well? I think there might have been a player part of
Terrell
trade,
Edmonds, I think.
which is nothing for them. You know what I mean? That's
Terrell
right.
Edmonds a 5th and a 6th. I mean, come on.
Exactly. But yeah, man, let's wrap it up, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. We had some great calls, great conversations. I know it was a tough loss. You want to take this out? Let me see if I think. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, hold up. There we go.
All right, we having some crazy things happen, but yeah, man, we appreciate it. Hey, it was a good show, man. We had some good calls, like I said. Appreciate everybody coming through. We didn't get, the chat was going crazy. Like I was trying to figure out where you were at because you were picking up some people in the chat. Man, if we did not get to your chat, please leave a comment down below. Me personally, I can speak for myself, and I know Ray does too as well. We respond to comments. We respond to comments. So if we haven't got to your chat during the show, leave a comment down below, and we'll get to it. We'll talk to y'all. We'll talk about football, whatever you guys want to talk about. Leave a comment down below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit that notification bell so be notified the next time we go live. And actually, the next time we go live is going to be next Saturday at 6. Hopefully, we're going to be on time. We're going to be on time. I'm going to speak that into existence. We're going to be on time. No technical difficulties. We're gonna make it work. But yeah, it's Saturday at 6. Lock us down. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll be notified. But let me end it the right way. Y'all.
We respond to the goofies that like McDaniels as well.
You said there's someone in the chat talking about McDaniels?
No, I said we respond to the goofies that like McDaniels.
Oh man,
I'll just let them know.
Yeah, we'll respond to all the comments, man. We'll laugh at all the comments. We'll do whatever it takes, man. Just leave a comment, like the video, and hit the notification bell and subscribe.
Saturday, we're introducing drug tests. All right, we're good.
We're
all right, we're good. Wrap this up.
Hey, Ray, just win, baby. All right, y'all.
Great Pharaoh, the gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the 5 rivers.
Believe that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
Just win, baby.
Hello? play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.